Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Gary Sansing Public Forum. It is intended for matters not included on the agenda for the upcoming Board of County Commissioners meetings. Citizens wishing to address items on the agenda should sign up to speak at such item at the regular Board of County Commissioner meeting, which will follow at this meeting at 0900. Speakers shall refrain from abusive or profane remarks, disruptive outbursts, protests, or other conduct which interferes with the orderly conduct of the Gary Sansing Public Forum. Each speaker is limited to 3 minutes unless otherwise determined by the chair to allow sufficient time for all speakers. At the chairperson's discretion, this will end 5 minutes prior to the scheduled time. We can do 3 because we only have 4 speakers. Chris Kerb, you're up first. Thanks.
Good morning. How y'all doing today? Yesterday, Dee and Brett came over our house, and they're going, I guess y'all are buying them out Tuesday. They closed Tuesday for HMGP buyout. It's wonderful. And we got to talking about things and light bulb moments. June 16th of 23 was a light bulb moment for Dee. I think I put a video up there of water running through her living room. You know, when you have light bulb moments, you think about, well, maybe what do we need to do differently? And y'all kind of started on doing some things differently, but that can get kicked down the road. I spoke about this on the 5th. You have a lot of challenges to change how your design standards are done when you have Home Builders Association get up here and say, oh, that's going to cost us too much money. What is it costing the taxpayer right now? What is it costing the taxpayer by not updating your design standards? Well, the National Flood Insurance Program has some information on that through floodsmarts.gov. Between 1980 and 2023, $719,940,663 for 11,770 claims, and that don't even include people that don't have flood insurance. It's a lot of money. So we kicked that can down the road a little further. Oh, I was even challenged up here by the liaison of the Home Builders Association. Chris can't name any developments where we're using 1979 rainfall data that has failed. Oh, I can name a bunch of them. How about $1.3 million that you're spending in Oakfield Acres building a stormwater pond and a drainage system down gradient from a brand new subdivision? Well, yeah, there were some existing problems there, down gradient. Well, $1.3 million? How about $1.5 million you're spending on Bayou Marcus drainage basin study and everything that went in that before? Thank you.
Thank you, Chris, for your comments. Ms. Rushing, you're up next, and Mel, you're on deck. Oh, Kevin's on there too. You want Kevin? Kevin's after you. Okay, well, we'll let Ms. Rushing go first.
It was a good idea about the entrance to the beach, but have you considered putting overhead walkways? What would it take to get it done?
We did. It was a few $1 million extra because of the needed design work and the load to hold it and the ADA compliance. But we did look into that. Yes, ma'am.
Well, I think it needs to be a harder look for that, and I think you would get support from the people on that. Commissioner?
Yes, ma'am.
We're in hurricane season, though we don't have anything out there yet. Our road department is underfunded. And because it's underfunded, it's undermanned. Those people who work in the road department is as valuable as the girl who maintains that computer for you. Because everybody who comes into Escambia County, the first thing they see, it's not the computer, they see the roadways. If you don't have your roadways taken care of, County doesn't look like it's any good. And right now, my road department is undermanned. He can't get staff. And the ditch is in bad shape. I would go over there and clean it out, except I'm going to be 79 in November, and I'm past my prime to do that because of this and the fact of falling. And I don't want another Sally where it gets blocked up and I lose a tree that costs me and a power meter. The power meter cost me $550 to have it put back up. The tree cost me $3,500. So we need to be proactive, but we also have got to be more proactive in giving road department more money for their people, because we used to think that labor was not that valuable, and right now that labor is more valuable than anything else, because if we don't take care of our roads, it looks terrible. But we also have problems. And if you can get some of the guys from Navy out there to help, you know, it doesn't have to be, it's not a big section. It's not a long section, but Road does, he came out and I gave him the video of Sally, and he couldn't believe how much water was coming off of Home Street. And it's still going to come off of Home Street. So that is a vulnerable area. So thank you, Commissioner.
Ms. Rushing, I have a question. I thought did they clean the ditch out? Because I thought we had this conversation last meeting.
They came out, he's aware of it, and by seeing the water conditions of when we have heavy rains, that's what it looks like. But I'm telling you right now, road department is understaffed, and he's having a tough time maintaining.
No, I agree with you. We all value what all of our departments do, but you're correct. Roads is a tough job. Wes, are we that understaffed in roads department?
We have about 25 vacancies right now.
Okay, so we need to work on that and try to get more people in there. I don't think it's a funding issue. I think it's actually getting good applicants that want to work in the roads department.
Well,
That's the issue, right?
Let me just say this, because I'm a business person. The guys are not working it because it's hot, it's hard, it's difficult. So you're going to have to pay them a little more than you think you should.
Thank you, Ms. Rushing. I appreciate your comments. Kevin, I guess you're up, Kevin Wade, and then Mel Pino, you're on deck.
Wes, I think this would be a good time to share. There's a emergency line that people can call if a drain gets backed up with a heavy rainstorm. I know, but I just want to make sure we have that information out there. Not during a hurricane, but I know
Yeah,
during
we'll put it out there. You know, we did recently pay rates out at Public Works as well as parks and some other places from like $12.50 an hour to almost $19 an hour. And we're looking at trying to make it yet another adjustment if we can work it out. So that's what we're working on.
Can we also get that number posted for the general community as well?
Sure, absolutely.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Ms. Rushing. We appreciate that.
Okay, Kevin, you're up.
Chairman, I request to be able to show a couple of images.
Yeah.
Can I get help getting this computer online?
Yeah, she'll come down and grab those for you.
Thank you. Thank you much.
Yeah. We'll hold off on starting your time till.
Oh,
know,
thank
we
you,
get
sir.
this. I don't know what the images are.
That's a mouthful.
It's like, I don't know, so I don't know. Thank you very much. Okay, go ahead, Kevin.
Good morning. Thank you. Kevin Wade, 4 and 3 Southeast Boblets. It looks like it's up. As a child of the 60s, I was one of the mobile generation. It's not mobile phones. It was, we traveled America. We had roads, we had bridges, we had massive building all through my lifetime. All through my lifetime, watching I-10 go in, watching I-40 go in. On the West Coast, the first word that I learned to speak, read, and spell was merge. This was ubiquitous. It was a sign that was on every entrance to every highway and many boulevards. And signage, California, Oregon, Washington went through massive initiatives to trim down and disappear as much of the signage as they could. Billboards went away and massive citizen initiatives. This is, what is this? This is a monotube gantry, which is a fairly sleek gantry. Many municipalities use these for signage as well as camera mounting and so on. This is one of those gantries from Arcos, I believe. They tried to make something that was sleek and almost invisible. It would be, this is still, that's a behemoth. This, when I saw this, I got a little giddy because this was what replaced the horrible toll booth system that was at the Golden Gate Bridge that I remember traveling over many, many times. And all of California went to toll, license plate tolls many years ago. And this was one of the first. There was a lot of drama involved, here as well. I asked for the sensible option of what we have now. This is one of those different gantry types from Arcos themselves. They make many gantries. This is a, what is it? I believe it's a banjo gantry, mast arm, trombone mast arm in Tampa. They're sleek. Most people won't even notice them. There's no need for a great big lattice that will hold a sign. I have cameras that are now a couple years old that will capture license plates of cars traveling 160 miles an hour past the house, mounted on a 2-inch piece of aluminum.
Kevin, your time's up, but if I'll let you
Thank you.
finish your thoughts real quick, or is that, are you done?
Keep it sleek, and make it disappear. The beach is the gem. The people here are the gem.
Thank you, Kevin. Mel Pino, you're next, and then we have an add-on. William Banks, you're on deck.
Thank you, Chairman Kohler. You guys, really? 8:30 in the morning on a Friday, the week before 4th of July? I mean, and then we didn't even get Grampy anyway. And we've lost Lumen, but I'm sure that he's worn out after Juneteenth. I mean, oh my God, the timing of this. You make me get all dressed up because I don't have time to wash my hair and I got to do my outfit around my bun. And it's like, come on now, like Friday before 4th of July. Commissioner Kohler, I wanted to thank you for giving Teresa a shout out. Teresa, if you're listening, you should have had a moment. I myself had to leave the room because I was too emotional. I think it doesn't even really need to be stated why I got very sad during that kind of anticlimactic ending to all of that. But when I heard that Teresa didn't get a shout out, for as much as we might have disagreed over the years, note to Teresa, Jeff didn't even know about Amazon, part of the setup to get him out of office. And he didn't want to throw people under the bus because he didn't want to criticize the good people who were trying to do it along with the people who were doing it as a campaign tactic. Teresa deserved a moment on that. Anyone that puts that much time over the years into a project deserved to be brought up to the podium, frankly, and recognized, and it was really good on you to do that. I'm going to state very quickly, Commissioner Berry, you might remember when Grover was on his way out to be mayor, you had a really profound moment where you stated simply that you blamed yourself for giving Grover his head too much on the beach. And if you had it to do over again before the county got in a lot of trouble, you would have put the brakes on it and there would have been more county-wide conversations. Because he made mistakes, and then you thought it was a mistake that you didn't correct his mistakes, and I made a mistake with Commissioner Hofberger. She correctly stated the name of a project, and I said, no, that wasn't it, and the thing is, people make mistakes all the time. There is no harm, no foul on this project yet. What I see is a commissioner who's been pushed too hard by some people who are giving her some really bad advice. I think she deserves a breather. I think this needs to go back to a cow, or she can work with Wes to start at the beginning, because you don't need that giant scaffolding now that there's going to be no sign. The whole reason for the scaffolding was to hold up the sign. And Commissioner Hofberger, I'm not saying that you had anything to do with the procurement, far from it, but that procurement is horrible. That is 10 times how much this project needs to cost. That last gantry that Kevin showed, that tri-form gantry, $75K, about $250,000 to implement it over one side. Please take a pause, go back to the drawing board, hold some town halls, bring our changing rooms back, and
No,
start
wrap
working
up
with
your
the
thoughts,
board.
please.
They'll help you get this thing back on track, and it can still be amazing. Thank you.
I think it's by design. My computer doesn't work, so I don't see how much minutes. So you all benefit. I don't know. All right, William Banks, you're next. Sir, welcome.
Good morning. My name is William Banks. I have a company called William Banks Enterprise, Inc. I am the promoter of the Gulf Coast Summerfest Jazz Edition that I do here every year. The reason I'm here today is that I went to a TDC meeting Wednesday, June the 17th, and was denied any funds, and it appears on technicality reasons. What I really have an issue with, Commissioner, is that TDC funds is to promote tourism. I mean, that's really that in a nutshell. When the legislators set that thing up, in which I am a promoter, for example, last year, we brought in $1,096 million. Okay, in the 2026 one, issues are only projections. They are not. It has not even happened for 2025. But we have a $2.6 million for this year and a $2.8 million impact for 2026. So they went on about, I didn't sign the application, I didn't turn in but one tax return. I just left the county budget. All that stuff was turned in. Why it didn't get to the board, I don't have a clue. So I'm here today to try to explain that, and hopefully I can come back on July the 8th and present my case. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Banks. Just procedurally, we usually take the recommendations from the TDC. Do you have any, were you there for this? Okay, I don't know. I'll look into it. I'm not really, Stefan, you want to make a comment? I don't even know. I didn't hear this at TDC, so.
Hi, good morning, Commissioners. So I have, this will be, Mr. Cadillac needs to hear this. So we just have not sent the email out yet, but I have discussed with the TDC chairman at the next TDC meeting, which will be in August. The folks that including Cadillac, will be able to come back and answer the council's questions, and that will be an opportunity to get that funding back in place. So I did just want to share that with the board this morning since Mr. Cadillac is here.
Yeah, I
sharing
think
his
that, I'm glad you shared that. So it wouldn't be in your best interest to come in July. It'd be for best
Okay,
interest to
okay.
go to the
Yes, sir.
TDC and see what they
Yes, sir,
recommend.
because we bring in people from all over the country. You know, we have a 4-day event, man. This is one of the top events in the country, according to Smooth Jazz News. And it shouldn't just go away on technicalities. Maybe I get a number right. You know, well, Cadillac, you didn't have no employees. I have volunteers, and the only thing the volunteers want to be out, to work out there at that festival is tickets so they can give their family members to be able to come. We have doctors, lawyers, and judges that attend this event. We have black folks, white folks, everybody come to Pensacola, fly into here, leave their money here to come to this event. It's a great event if you have never come. And, I mean, Commissioner May could tell you about the event. It is a beautiful event for the city.
I gotcha. Okay, thank you, Mr.
Thank you,
Banks.
sir.
Appreciate your comments. This adjourns public forum. We'll reconvene at 9 o'clock for the regular meeting.